far as families and homes, families need to stay together. They need to be closer. They need to watch their homes. They need to watch each other. And they certainly need to be there to help each other, protect each other, and just be there for each other. Sometimes I think all families occasionally will have a situation where they don't agree with each other and we get into a little squabble or whatever. That's fine. I mean, that's human. But when it comes down to the real nitty-gritty, you need to be there to take care of your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, cousins, uncles, etc., and so forth. When you're out and about, and I don't care whether this pertains to men, women, boys, girls, of all ages, maintain awareness of your surroundings. I don't care whether you're in the city or out in the country. I mean, we've heard plenty about murders and so on in secluded areas. We've heard about, all types of crimes against people, rapes, etc. And there's ways to protect yourself against them. You certainly shouldn't be afraid of everybody that you see walking around you, but by the same token, if you see someone acting differently, strangely, make sure you're aware of those things and maintain an awareness. One thing I see a lot of today is young people walking around with earbuds in their ears, playing music loudly and so on, and have absolutely no conception of what's going on around them. That's a very easy way to get yourself into trouble real quick. You automatically at that point in time become a target. Same thing with women in a grocery store or in a parking lot at a mall. You climb out of the car, you have a purpose in mind, you're going in to buy groceries or buy a gift or whatever, and that's all you're thinking about. And you don't think about, is there someone lurking around in the parking lot? Is there someone that wants to grab your purse? And I have a little technique that I use with my wife and my daughters while they're shopping. Always get a cart. Even if you don't think you're going to buy anything, get a cart and push it around. And take your pocketbook or handbag or whatever and put it in the tray where your child would go. And take that child strap and utilize it. Not to strap the child in, but put it through the handles of the pocketbook and lock it. That way, if somebody does try to do a grab and run with your personal belongings while your back is turned, or even if it's not turned, they're not going to get very far because they're going to tip the carriage over. May startle you, but they're not going to get your personal belongings. Just a little trick, and there's many of those little things that you can probably think of that if you did them, it would work. The other thing about parking lots and grocery stores and so on and so forth, always lock your vehicle. I'm in a habit of, even when a car is parked in the driveway, it gets locked. Now, I don't keep anything of any value in my vehicles because I've seen too many times where folks have lost some valuable things through a smash and grab. But it doesn't mean that there won't be a smash and grab. I just won't lose anything of any great value other than a window. And, if you learn to lock your car, chances are your car is not going to be stolen. Because the folks that are out there stealing cars usually look for something that either the keys are in, at least the doors are open. So, lock your vehicles. Lock your homes. Don't be afraid to turn the key in the lock. If somebody is knocking on the door and it's midnight, know who's knocking at the door. I mean, if it's somebody that's supposed to be there, they're going to announce themselves, or they're going to call you and let you know who they are. And if you've got somebody out there that you don't think belongs there, or you're really concerned about it, pick up the phone and dial 911. That's what the police are there for. That's what we want you to do. We'd rather respond to that kind of a call when there is not a problem than have a real problem and not have that response and see you as a citizen hurt. So, here again, and if someone gets into the house and you're home, get yourself into the bathroom or any other room that has a lock on the door and lock it. And if you have a cell phone with you can make the 911 call. It'll buy a little bit of time. The perpetrator is probably going to know that you're there, and they're probably going to know where you are, so sooner or later they can kick the door in. But if you just bought 2 or 3 or 4 extra minutes, chances are you're going to have a police response before that happens. So at least make the effort. Now let's talk just a few minutes, if I can, in reference to financial security. Let's say that you have had a break, and all of a sudden you realize that your wallet is gone. And in that wallet you had money and credit cards and identifications. Maybe your Medicare card was in there if you're my age and have one, or maybe a Social Security card. I would suggest that you remove anything from your wallet, which includes your Social Security number. The federal government very shortly will be issuing new Medicare cards and so on to those who need them, which will not include a Social Security number. But if you don't have anything in your wallet that has that number, there's no way that someone can steal your identity because of that. The other thing in reference to credit cards, if that is stolen, you should be maintaining a record of credit cards, and not only the number on the credit card, but when it expires, the little 3-digit number on the back of it. And more importantly, next to that on that sheet of paper, written down should be the phone number that you call in the event of an emergency. Because if you call the credit card company immediately, there's a limit to how much can be put on that card before they will become responsible for it. You report it missing and they'll automatically shut it off so nobody can use it. And they'll reissue a new card for you. When it comes to debit cards, I'm particularly concerned about folks that use debit cards these days. There's so many different methods that the bad guys are out there using to get your PIN number, whether it be a camera at an ATM machine, or there's now mechanisms where they put something in the slot on an ATM machine and you think you're just putting your card in, and there's actually a device there that's reading it. Once they've got your PIN number, they can clean you out. And they can do it very, very quickly. A lot of people like to put their cash into a bank account and access it with an ATM, through an ATM. And that's okay. But I want you to think about something. It's just as easy to use a credit card that you don't need a PIN for. And at the end of the month, write one check to the credit card company to take care of all of those expenses that you were doing with a debit card where you had to use a PIN. I guess what I'm saying is, personally, I think it's a lot safer to use a credit card than it is to use a debit card. Give that one some thought. Another thing, if you happen to win a lot of cash, or you're in a position where you're carrying a lot of cash, be aware that others may know that you have that. And if they know that you have it, you could be setting yourself up as a target. If you're in a store paying for something with cash, don't pull out a wad of bills that looks like it would choke a horse. Have your money separated so that you're only taking out what you need, and not giving away the fact that there may be excess cash there. Because for the bad guys, they're always looking for those sorts of things. Another thing in stores that we see fairly frequently is pickpockets. And although you don't hear about them frequently, when you have a victim or someone who's been victimized by a pickpocket, it's very heartrending. They don't even know it's happened. They have no idea who did it, and in many cases they don't even know where or how it happened. When you have a wallet, I've explained to you one method of protecting a pocketbook. For folks that carry a wallet, whether it be a male or a female, put it in a button-down pocket, and have some other way. Even sometimes you can buy wallets that have a chain on them. And if you carry a lot of cash or a lot of credit cards or whatever, you may want to protect them that way. With that, I think we've covered today a number of issues on personal security. I would hope that you actually got something out of this, and one of these days I'll probably be back again with something else to talk about. Thank you for listening.